messed up. And now we're live, kids. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I know, lady. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the GH Community Spotlight Primetime Special, our second one. Our first one was so successful, Frank and I decided to try it again. We are here. We're talking about something very special. I know right now we're competing with the Billboard Music Awards Women in Music. I see that right now. I'm like, sorry, comparing with them. But we have our own fan base, right, Frank?
That's true. There's more stars here tonight than are in the sky.
Yes, I love it. But we are here to talk about this new week. It's so good that I felt like, because we're not going to be on this weekend, that Frank and I should do you the favor and come on. Right, Frank?
It's our gift to you,
A gift to
uh,
you. So we come on.
loyal viewers slash listeners.
So we're talking about this new era that's happening on General Hospital this week. There's 4 episodes. We're doing this on Thursday. In fact, my friend, I'm sorry. Did you watch today's episode yet?
I did.
Okay,
I
okay. So
sneaked it in right before we hopped down here.
yeah, so did I. Okay, so good. Okay, so I did too. So right now, just for you guys at home, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. We're talking about General Hospital episodes from Monday to Thursday of this week. So if you have not watched today's episode, turn it off, go watch it, and come back and watch us afterwards. I'm gonna do like I say that spoiler, 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 spoiler. So we do that. But just to give you an idea, so on Sundays we normally do our Sunday sub block. We won't be doing it. But we'll be back on St. Patrick's Day, Sunday, March 17th.
Because you're going to be at the Oscars on Sunday.
So this Sunday I'll be at the. So this Sunday is the Oscars. It's daylight savings time. Our friend of the show, Flobo Boyce, has a graduation from comedy class. There's a lot going on that day for me, and I know Tami Goveia has something to do with the Oscars that day too. So like, there's a lot going on. Frank was sitting at home, but the rest of us have a lot going on.
That's very true. That's true.
We have a lot to do. But we will be back the following week. We will be back the following week. So Sunday, drinking Irish car bombs
Mm.
and wearing green and
Oh,
pinching
yeah.
each other and pinching
Oh,
each
hello.
But
We can be anywhere.
that's the Wine Army Spotlight, Bone Army Spotlight, and Jason Spotlight. Normally on Sundays. Also, Edition Days, which was not on last weekend, will be on this weekend. So check out our friends Edition Days, Tony Moore and the gang, over on their channel, Edition Days. They talk about all about Days of Our Lives. And apparently, C. Burton's still on there too as Harris. So he's on 2 shows right now.
No.
He's wrapping up over there, but he's still on. We debuted on here. So there you go. Isn't that funny, Frank? So he's doing a Wally Kurth.
Oh, nice. I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, you've always said they were so far ahead.
They're six
Uh,
months ahead, Frank.
yeah. So I guess it makes sense that, still got some footage of him banked.
Yes. So he's on there. So he's wrapping. He's wrapping up. Clearly, he's wrapping up because he's like back on our show. Clearly. So here in this channel, great. We're here. Also, before we start, because it is huge news, and I gotta get Frank's take on it. A new soap opera is coming.
Yeah,
Who would
the
have thunk it?
gate. The
The
gates are
gates. The gates.
yes.
Who would have thunk it? So, Frank, just what are your initial thoughts of this show? This new, they said, daytime, 5 day a week soap opera on CBS.
Uh I am interested. I mean, I guess if you looked at the soaps currently on network TV right now, I feel like GH may be the bottom of the three. So CBS, clearly they're not going to greenlight this show if they don't feel like there's at least a way to make money on this. Not saying who knows what the barrier to between success and failure is, but clearly they've crunched the numbers and they've figured out that yeah, this is there's an upside to doing this. So uh, it's exciting to finally see this, and one that's just uh with which will seem to be a predominantly black led cast, which is cool.
Yeah, and folks, there'll be white folks on it. Don't worry, folks. There'll be some white folks on there, I'm sure. But just black led, like you said. And why not? There's been successful black led dramas like Empire and all that on. There was basically soap operas on prime time. So why not? I'm like Frank. I'm cautiously optimistic. One of those things where a new soap period, whether regardless of what I never thought saw that coming, Frank. I never thought in a million years they would do that. But I'm with you, Frank. They obviously crunch the numbers because it's a numbers game. Everything Frank is saying is a numbers game. They would not have done this unless they thought it was viable. So and CBS is, I mean, General Russ has been number one for 37 years. No one's knocked it out. Bold and Beautiful is right behind it. So I mean, it's not been knocked out. So I think that's to says something also. So who knows? I mean, I see soap Twitter as a buzz. Even the Breakfast Club, which Charlamagne the God was talking about this morning, like it's getting huge attention. It's getting huge attention. So, oh, Frank.
I am all for that, and if that opens up the door for any other networks to want to do some other type shows that can be led by a different facet of our society, which would be great, whether it be Asian or Hispanic or whatever, it'd be great. So I'm down for that. I mean, the best thing is, I don't know why everybody gets so held up on this. There are a lot of universal truths no matter what culture or race that you are. So even if you're not of that particular race that's being focused on something, there's going to be a lot of recognizable stories, characters, personalities that you will recognize.
Well said, Frank. Actually, well said. I agree with that. So I think this is good. This is something good. Now, personally, myself, if there's going to be a lot of pressure on this soap opera because everybody's already projecting what they want on it, and I understand that. So I hope they live up to at least half of it. I'll take half.
I mean, because I guess it feels like it's almost like the talk shows. Anytime there's a new talk show or somebody's taking over, succeeding somebody in one of the late night talk shows, there's the big thing about how are they going to reinvent the format? Do they do away with the desk or they do something
Right,
different?
right.
And more often than not, it kind of still kind of falls into the general, we've got, a monologue, we've got little bits, we got some guests, we got some music, or maybe a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
Uh, for soaps, do you think the wheel needs to be reinvented, or it just needs to be executed better than what it's doing?
There you go. I would like both, but knowing the soap audience is the latter. I think they don't want anything reinvented. They want just they want exciting, good, juicy stories. They want them told in a timely manner that's not too fast and not too slow. The pacing has to be good. And they want their favorites on screen. I think that's so I go with you. I like to have both, but we know how soap audiences can be. So let's just give them something familiar, which will be new because these are new characters, but familiar and just meaty. So I go with your second question, Frank. It's a good question. I go with your second question.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and certainly I feel like, you make it interesting and engaging out of the gate. And plus, if it's new, everything everything is new for
Yeah,
this, which is great. You're not repeating storylines with, established characters like you or tropes yet. This is the first time that the characters you're creating are going to be going through this. So that could be interesting. And plus, once you get the audience kind of in the vibe for that, that's when you can start wheeling out, the bigger swings in terms of like storyline beats and ideas. Once the audience gets comfortable with the vibe that you've got.
I agree, Frank. Everything Frank said, I'm agreeing with. So, folks, that's it, everybody. We'll see you guys next time because we're agreeing on everything. So that's I mean, agreeing on everything. But no, I would love to see some things reinvented, but I just know the soap audience. They just right now they don't want that. They want those regular. They don't want. They also don't want the same old either. They want something in between. And I think if a story is written correctly and written right, it'll be fine. We have good actors, especially. And I know this show is going to also count on who they hire. Actors are wonderful, and if they get the right actors on this show, people will tune in for curiosity for first. People are naming people in chat already naming people names, and there's a lot of names being thrown around. And I was like, that's great. So they cast it in a way that's interesting. I think people will at least tune in at the first to see what's going on.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's I mean, I guess what they always say about like with radio shows, it's like, sure you've got your great Monday show, but what's your Thursday and Friday show going to be like? So, yeah, I mean, it's easy to come out of the gate like gangbusters. But what's month 2 and 3 and 4 look like?
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. So, and that's the thing. It's gonna folks, sub audiences gonna have to remember it's gonna take a while to kind of get hooked, to get all the names of the characters. It's like any kind of show that you watch. You have to get used to it, and because it's gonna be 5 days a week, not like 10 episodes of a streaming series, you have to really sit back and let it happen. Because like the youngest soap of the four is Bold and the Beautiful. That's 37 years ago. I mean, the last soap that did debut later but didn't last was Passions.
I mean,
That
and
was
even Bold and Beautiful is only 30 minutes.
only 30
So
minutes.
yeah, it's easier to, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, I feel like that's an easier format to write for the 30-minute soap than the hour soap.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess, did they say it was an hour? I wasn't sure if they said it was an hour or not. I don't know if they
Uh,
said it or not.
I was assuming it would be, but I have not heard either way.
We have a special guest who I guess has
Well,
chosen to come join us. I didn't know I invited her and I said, come on if you want to. We just started anyway. So it's ladies and gentlemen,
look at
it's
this.
Tami Goveia.
Oh, it's JLJ Media royalty. Look at
It
this.
is.
I just finished watching today's episode.
It's good.
I
Good.
didn't want to get on until I absolutely watched everything. And it didn't record.
Oh.
It's been funkadelic. Spectrum, I hate you.
I love it. Everybody say hi to Tami Goveia. The little crossover I invited because she actually watches General Hospital. So I said, if you want to come on, girl, come on. We were talking about the new soap that's coming out. That's what we're talking about right now. We haven't got to General Hospital
The
yet.
Gates. Oh my God. My first reaction was, so is this the name of a family or is this a gated community? And
Gated community.
yes, I know.
Yes.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I'm like, okay. I'm like, the lighting looked better. Yeah, we're gonna talk, folks. We're gonna talk about all that stuff. But yeah, by saying Tami, yeah, Tami's here. Yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna wrap that part anyway. We're just gonna say that we're excited for a new soap. We're excited. We'll see what happens, and I'll tune in, of course. I'm gonna tune in to see what's going on, and we don't know time slots. We don't know actors yet. None of that stuff yet. I know everybody's chattering. It's kind of been a fun chat. Everybody's kind of getting into this. So I think it's something positive. Something positive.
Yeah.
Before we move on to GH, what is just one, if you could do one dream casting in this soap in the Gates, what is one person you would love to have in there?
Well, see, people are mentioning Victoria Rao, who was amazing as Drusilla, but but I'll tell you, folks, she's also a writer, producer, director. She's like, I don't know if she would just come back and just be an actor. So I don't know if she would because she's actually has her own stuff. She's like completely this huge star on her own, her machine. So I don't know if she would come back, but I would love to see her on a soap. I would love to see her on a soap. So I mentioned Debbie Morgan, who I of course loved her as Angie Hubbard on all those years on All My Children. Those are the ones I can think of right now at the moment. I'm kind of with you guys. DG was mentioning that. I'm kind of with them, but I don't know. If Victoria would, because she's kind of moved on as a producer and she does her own stuff. For her to come back and just read someone else's words, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I'd like to see her on something. I mean, yeah, she's such a great actor. Unless she does some guest spots. I mean, if she said, "I'll come on and do some recurring guest spots," then I'll be fine with that. I don't know.
Amy, how about you?
Well, I was texting James and I said, I wonder if Lawrence would think about doing a crossover from Bold as a writer for sure. I mean, he should. And as an actor, I mean, there's such a rich opportunity now for these crossover situations to happen and have it be supported and fostered and all this creativity. So I'd like to see some of that.
Yeah, because they do the Bold and Bold and Wine are in the same universe, so they do have that. So this could be added to it. I mean, just like All My Children, all the ABC, they were all the same universe.
And Bye-Bye Talk.
That's what I'm hearing. I don't know. We haven't heard anything official because the problem is the smartest thing they could do was have the show a soap block. So 1 o'clock is the time slot. And that's where the talk is. So unless they move them to 2 o'clock, then I don't know. And then that's going against GH. So I don't know if they want to do that either.
So is this a 1 hour?
I'm assuming. So if I haven't heard anything, I'm assuming it's an hour. I'm not sure. We were just about that. We don't know if it's a half hour or an hour.
James, you know everything. Come on, give it up.
I know Michelle Valjean. Actually, I know her. So I know her. I actually personally know her, and she's a great person and very excited. I knew she was working on something, nothing of this magnitude. I had no idea at all. This is shocking to me. I mean, that they actually greenlit a soap. But like Frank and I said, they obviously crunched the numbers. They obviously got backing or whatever, and they're saying that we can try it. So we're gonna do it. So, but I think talk is probably the casualty. That show's been long in the tooth for anyway for a long time. Sorry to my cousin who's on the show, but well, you get another job somewhere else.
How dare you? Jerry O'Connell is a media Hollywood darling.
Yeah, he is, but he's not a national treasure, but yeah, he's a Hollywood darling. He's something else. Nikisha says she heard it's 30 minutes.
Okay.
Which would be smart. Start out 30 minutes. You can always just answer an hour if you want to later. That's smart. So, but yes, Nikisha, we're on tonight. It's a special GH Primetime special. We won't be here this weekend. Okay. Well, now let's go into GH because that's what we're here for. That's what we're all here for. My opening statements. I feel like I should get my gavel. My opening statements are these 4 episodes, and I'm mad at them. I am excited.
You want to kick him out of bed.
I would kick him out of bed. We eat crackers. I know my old sayings. I have enjoyed each of the 4 episodes. Someone said in the chat, yes, the lighting looks different. The acting is different. I feel like they're remembering a lot of history. We got a flashback of Dante being shot. They've mentioned Lulu. They've mentioned so there's a lot of different characters. They're mentioning people. They're actually talking. They're learning. We're seeing we have a new Rocco, so they're now showing him. Like I said, Laura is like the grandmother of everybody. Shit, she's like everybody's grandmother. I'm enjoying the suspense. I'm enjoying Adam Harrington as Jagger / John. I'm just like my opening statement is I have nothing. Even a little piece with Curtis and his father. If that's done right, that could be an interesting story too. They both go on the run to look for it. Could be something interesting there. Like if they do it like a what do you call those stories? Kind of like a
boring.
What?
Boring? Is that what you?
It's great. I know we were ready. Let's go. No, I would say it could be a good story about blackness back then and protest. It could be a really good tale if they do it right.
I don't care about the past. There is one point when they brought up, well, if it wasn't schizophrenia, clearly he was experiencing something. What was it?
Oh, 1 second. DG, Rocco's mother is Lulu. That's how Laura is Rocco's grandmother. Okay, go ahead.
Guess he's related.
I guess he's related. Like, I never really guess he's related. I'm sorry. I'm saying that in the chat. I'm like, no, he's Lulu's son. That's his son. Her son. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So it would have my attention for a minute to find out, well, what was he going through at the time? What was he experiencing? Was he taking drugs at the time, or like what was going on? But if I were him, I wouldn't it happened so long ago. What's the point? Why do I want to talk to a doctor who's like 90 years old at this point?
But see, what if it leads to something really
So
good?
what?
Yeah, I would say like, what does it lead
to? That's the exciting part, you guys. We have writers. We don't know.
James, you need to go on some more dates because your definition of excitement has been greatly altered.
Yeah. Yes. I'm just telling you, we have new writers now. So I'm like, I mean, anything can be possible at this point.
If you're looking for interesting things to do with Curtis, him being able to walk and getting involved in the WSB, way more interesting to me than him going on some kind of search into the history of Had Daddy and his medical issues.
I would say, what if it's related to something else? Like, what if we find out it's related to something else that's related to somebody on the show? I can go for that. I can go there.
I mean, I think you have Aunt Stella, maybe. Like, who else? If there was a plethora of like elderly African American characters on the show, like, oh, this really ties into somebody else that we didn't even realize. But it's really just Aunt Stella, and maybe Phyllis if we ever see her again.
Well, somebody in chat said, I said, maybe Marshall's story help others being misdiagnosed. I'm saying they have those. Every once in a while, they have those kind of stories that are meant to be for people out in the real world. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm just saying, who knows? It could be. But Dolores agrees with Tami. Why, looking back, be grateful you're healthy now. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like you make it sound like it's a soap opera's version of like pro bono work. At least like a story for
Just throwing a good deed there.
Well, now but they do that Shriners Hospital. They
Totally.
do. They do. They always throw in one little
for
story.
Kids? Shriners Hospital for kids?
Right. Or what's her name? Michael Lerner was on there for like a couple of months, and from the Waltons, she had a story that was kind of like that kind of like they always do that. But some always do that. It's like pro bono work. That's the only way it is. Like okay. But anyway, but I just like in general they are actually focusing on people to get you grabbed in that already had story that now we're going forward. Well, let's begin first with the Jason thing. I thought for sure it would be the end of Monday's episode. We see a piece of his face. No, beginning of the show, it's like, and there's Jason. I was impressed.
Yeah, the pacing shocked me. This was not how I thought it was going to go down. Did it disappoint? Did it exceed? I'm happy it turned out this way because I was afraid he was going to come back with amnesia or disfigured or just some kind of generic storyline, and which also means we still don't know who's calling the shots, right?
We don't.
So I'm still voting for Alcazar. That's who I want behind the scenes of all of this.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting given the way that like Jason's already had to come back from the dead storyline once. So yeah, I feel like that kind of limited the ways that they could kind of, or at least challenge him to do something different than they did before. For this though, it seems like he's working undercover for whoever this organization is, but it seems weird to me. It's like, if you know Sonny this well, then his former person was right-hand man was Jason Morgan. Wait a minute, this new guy we got, she looks a lot like he can't be him, right? Because he's buried under a bunch of rocks in Europe somewhere. So I don't know. I'll be curious.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm like we'll have to find out. We don't know. And actually, I'm with you guys in a sense. I'm glad it isn't just another amnesia. It's like when he said he called him a name first. He called him Jacobs or something. Like I don't know some name he said to him. But I was like, okay, he's undercover or something. Or maybe he's trying to protect Sonny because the guy said you messed up my shots.
Yeah, and the minute we saw him saving Dante,
yes,
it's like okay, he's undercover, and he had shot the dude by that point, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What happened to the body, by the way?
Oh, it's true.
Yeah. Ernie said, by the way, where's the dead guy? I'm like, oh my God. He must have dragged him off somewhere. Dumped him in the water.
The thing I like though is they mentioned Blair. They didn't mention Blair. They mentioned a lot of people in there. What got me was that it was Dante that saw Jason first. At the same time, you got Spinelli and Ava. I love the suspense of it all. The way they were shooting it was fast. It was like they're all kind of we couldn't see the face first, but they're like it was seeing their reactions. I actually like that people are finding out already. Like this is not just like taking 5 months for people to find out. They're going full steam ahead. The fact that Dante, I was in the chat, were like, it was weird that Dante saw. I thought, well, Dante was doing his job. They're giving Dante something to do, and Dante is connected, as we can see, to so many people.
Yeah, but it's so weird that it would be like, oh no, Chase, you just stay here. I'll go chase these two dangerous suspects that have been shooting people out by myself. It's fine. I won't have any backup.
Well, he said call for backup. He did say he told him to call for backup.
There you go. But Chase, I guess, didn't know how to work the out of the radio.
They were trying to divide and conquer.
They never showed up.
They never showed up. But
those folks showed up, but
I think there was hi everybody. Hello everybody. Hello 39 people. Thank you for watching. Everybody's coming in. Yes, it's a shock. I know we're on right now. It's a primetime special. We're on right now. But that whole thing is it's having Dante laying there, and then and everybody, and then having I forgot about Dex and Jocelyn. I totally forgot about that. That Michael had said the week before, come back to Port Charles. I'm like, oh yeah, that they were there too. It's like now they're back in town. We'll see what happens. But she's related to Dante, so to speak. Then you have all the cute stuff with Brooklyn and Olivia. They're related. Brooklyn talks about how that's her stepbrother slash friend her whole life. She's known him. Then you have Laura's related to him because so it's like I just like that he and then Anna cares about him. Obviously Sonny and whatever. And then of course Jordan had a nice thing. She mentioned Nathan. Today. I'm telling you, they're remembering the history. Like I said, I'm not mad at it. I like that they're mentioning history.
Yeah, but sadly, she only mentioned Nathan. She didn't name check Trina's first boyfriend.
Oh, Rory.
Yeah. Whoops. We didn't care about him.
He was a great man.
He was too young to be a hero cop.
Yeah. Nathan was a bomb. We know Nathan. We know Ryan Payton.
Benelli ain't no Nathan, but I like him anyway.
I know. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I liked I mean that Monday episode was great. The ending, the pacing of I wish the editing had been a little tighter at the end because it was just a lot of well, who are you seeing? Cut to Spinelli and Maxie. But I don't know. Cut to Ava and Sonny.
So drawn out.
Yeah.
Come on.
We know where you're going. Just get there.
See, I have no problem with that. I loved it. I thought
this is so long.
This is soapy goodness.
But I loved that moment when Jason's got his back to him, and this was the big reveal.
Yes.
And Jason's this mountain of a man with his back to Dante. Dante's got the gun, turn around. And it was just that slow reveal. I literally went, I knew who it was.
I know, right.
But I felt what Dante was feeling, like, what the hell?
He almost put his gun down. You saw him like, it's like, oh, okay.
It was so good. And I wasn't expecting other guy to come back. Like,
no,
I
right.
He disappeared. But if they're military background, he's not going to leave Jason by himself. Like, he's going to come back and get him and whatever. But that reveal was
interesting, though, that it was like he'd come back for him. But when Jason says, "No, you keep going. I'll get my own extraction out," that's when he's going to kill him. And so it's always like Jason pulling out. Never one to waste shooting somebody. It was great.
Yeah, it was good. And he was there for a long time. It was soapy goodness. I mean, Dante was there for a long time. I thought that was kind of interesting.
So bullets, because he was wearing a vest, and someone.
I think it got him up through like a top of it, because they said his heart and lungs were damaged.
Yeah, I think they're armor piercing bullets.
Yeah, armor piercing bullets. Yeah, so they went through.
That's terrible.
I know. It's terrible. Well, yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But we're getting good drama. He's in surgery still. Now he's out of surgery, and now get spoiler alert. Now he's in ICU now, I guess. I mean, that's how we left it today. So we'll see what happens with him, because he saw Jason. So, but Sonny and Ava, because Ava went over there with the laptop, with the tablet, and showed Sonny what happened, and they both couldn't believe it either.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand Sonny's point of view for sure. They've got this huge history, but I mean, I also bought where Ava is coming from too. She can be more removed from the situation because she does not have that same personal connection that Sonny has with Jason. So I bought their conversation.
Me too. She was very practical. She's like, but you don't know. Like, he knows you don't know what's going on. Like, come on, Sonny. You don't know what's going on. But I understood Sonny's point, just like, this is really weird. Like, they're all, I mean, I did love Spinelli, his reaction, because it was like, that's his stone cold. That's his man. And he gave such a great reaction to it. I didn't know that Kate was going to bust in on him and Maxie. I had no idea. And the history, he knows Mac, of course. He would know Mac. Like, it was like, oh, I love that they remember, because sometimes they wouldn't even let them know they know each other. We wouldn't know they know each other. Like they just play it off like, hello, Miss Jones. Like, no, he's like Maxie. Like Maxie Jones. Oh my God. Like he knows who she is. And he would because he's Robin's friend. Like I love that that they're not ignoring the connections on
And I
there.
love the stone twist.
Yes.
That when it clicked in my brain, it's like, oh my gosh, this isn't stone. It's stone cold.
Oh.
I just wanted to see like Sonny kind of have that facial recognition when Ava broke it down like that. Oh,
They did. It's yes. Folks, I interviewed Leah Look today, plays Selena Wu. We had a wonderful conversation. That'll be out tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about Selena and all these scenes that happened this week. So we talked about
I love that moment in the warehouse where she sees the entourage that Sonny has, and she's all, we didn't sign up for this. I'm out of here.
She saw Ava. She was like, side eye.
I'm out.
I'm done. I'm done. We had an agreement. She's like, bye. I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah. And then when somebody criticized the state of her warehouse, she was like, "That's how could you insult my warehouse like that?"
I was laughing. So
when her sidekick, the 12-foot guy, says, that computer, he's odd.
Yeah.
It's odd, and I love that.
I was laughing so hard. That was like perfect.
I know, me too. I was laughing too. I mean, it was great. But
But
that whole setup was pretty good, and I just and so during that period, we had the whole Jagger Sonny talk off, and the history. I was watching the show and all that happened. So the Adam Harrington, who's playing Jagger, is doing an amazing job.
oh my gosh. I mean, he's front and center with Maurice Pinard, with Finola Hughes. I mean, like with heavy hitters, and he's so good.
When he went off on Sonny, but then when he turned to Anna was like, wait a minute. She's like, wait a minute. She's like, wait a minute. You know, because he's like, because you couldn't be. She's like, wait. She's like, are you done? She's like, wait. She's like, no, I'm not going to turn on me. So it's like, oh, like, come on. But he's like, because he went off on Sonny, but then he went to her because you couldn't be there too. I'm like, wait a minute, what I got to do to anything? But those of us remember, Jagger can't throw stones because I was there. He was not there but the things he said about Sonny weren't wrong either. So it's like, Sonny, we're different when we're younger. I was a hothead when I was younger. I've mellowed out since then. I mean, people mellow out when they get older. They don't. Everybody stays the same. There are a lot of things that Sonny did when he was in his 20s. They won't do it in his 50s or 60s. I mean, they won't do that. However old he is on the show.
True. I mean, I guess there's one thing like, hey, I did a lot of smoking, I did a lot of drinking, I would get into fights. But then I think there's that line where, pushing drugs or sleeping with somebody, in a compromised situation that I think people have a harder time excusing, no matter how many years past that is.
Well, of course. I mean, I think he was a villain when he came on the show. He was a villain. I mean, I would say everything that John said was like you became Stone should take to respectability. That's partially true. I mean, like
that is. I feel like the show really got into that too.
They did, and Sonny really did, and he even said, "You probably did. You did love my brother. You probably did." However, as our friend Tony Moore would say, he also got respectability on top of that. So what John was saying.
But was that Sonny's intention
back then? Yeah, I think part of it. I think it was and wasn't. They never played it that way back then. But
I don't think it was.
You could see it that way. You can see it that way.
Right.
You can see it that way, and it's not wrong. He does take in damaged people, and take him in thinking he's saving them. That is something Sonny's always done. Jason's part of that.
I mean, if you see the show back then too, if you're writing Sonny as kind of like the jerk bad boy kind of thing first, and then seeing like, oh wait a minute, this character's kind of catching on, we got to kind of have a reason for him to be able to stick around. You've got to do a little rehabilitation on him, and I feel like Stone was that way to be like, okay, yeah, we can now keep him on the show because he's a good guy, guys, even though he's a mobster.
Well, as the verse brings up, which is true, Karen was this hot to trot teenager that had daddy issues. By the time she got to Scott, there was a lot of issues. Scott, of course, had a lot of his issues too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's kind of like there's a lot of stuff going around back then. I mean, again, Stone was a bad boy out there running the streets, and he brought him in. Like, there's a lot of things that were going on back then, and Sonny and Stone did relate to each other. So, so it's just that's kind of how that is, and and so there's a lot of stuff that was going around, and they brought that up. They're like, Karen was not this, she had a lot of issues. She was molested, had a lot of things that happened to her. So by her stepdad stuff. So there was a lot of stuff going on. So, but I love that they didn't sugarcoat all this stuff. John said his piece of what he thought happened. Sonny said his piece of what he thought happened. And Anna, when I remember when he went to her, "You're going to help me about it." And Anna was like, wait a minute, have a seat. I'm the police commissioner. What do and then they talked. They have their thing too. And she does respect Sonny on some level because she's like, he has changed in many ways. She's actually seen it, but she said, "I'll do my job if I have to bring him down."
Yeah. I mean, certainly, and nobody, John is not kidding or not saying anything untrue when Robin's relationship with Sonny, I'm sure, informs a lot of at least how Anna feels, to be able to at least get her to look at Sonny a different way. Because otherwise, Anna is usually good about just keeping it kind of black and white for people that are on the other side of the law.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. The situation is very layered.
Yes,
very layered.
Also Anna knows she hasn't been innocent either. So it's kind of like she has that look in her face, like, well, none of us are innocent. Hi, Jay Sunday Shift. How are you? It's like there was a lot going on back then that was wrong, and so that was there you go. I mean,
the 90s, right?
The 80s and 90s, they had a lot.
The wrong time.
And
wrong things with wrong people.
I did it back then. Shit, I was doing it. Oh, I was doing things I should have been doing. I'm sure back then. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. LOTT. That went on back then that we're seeing fruition. We're seeing it to come fruition later. And there's a lot of things that happened back then that the different regimes started writing differently for these characters as they got older. And so people were complaining about Scott being mad at Sonny. So I'm like, I'm glad he's so mad at Sonny. That makes sense to me. They'll never be friends. They shouldn't be friends.
Yeah.
They should not even be friends. I mean, they should never be friends. So I was like, I think it's great. I think it's great that he still has that him and John would talk about it.
Yeah.
And reminisce about it at Karen's grave. But Scott wasn't the greatest either, and Jagger did her wrong also. There's a lot that went on. There's a lot going on. Back then. So, but yes, but I'm liking today. I'm liking what they're doing today, bringing it all up. They're bringing it all up, and they're throwing it into Sonny's face. And Ava's right there listening, and she's not innocent either.
So, what do you think about Sonny and Ava?
That ending, boy, is like he was going in for the smooch.
What do you think?
I don't want it to happen.
Why?
However, it's just but Moore West can do no wrong for me, so I don't care. Like, to see Moore West on something, I'm happy. For soapy goodness, you know me, my soapy goodness, Tami. Soapy goodness, it will be messy because also Nina is going to find out, and Nina's going to lose her shit.
I want her to just be destroyed and lose it.
Oh, she's going to lose it. She's going to lose it.
I can't wait.
It's tough for me to buy this. Them hooking up in the crypt at the Quartermain crypt makes sense.
Yes,
but them, because just like that moment of that, just kind of the rage, the hormones, the sexual tension.
Yeah, hatred, all stuff.
Yeah, but to go into a real relationship, the fact that she killed Connie, I just can't buy that Sonny would want to get into like a real relationship with somebody that killed somebody else that he loved.
Oh, it happened a long time ago.
There you go.
That's what I said.
She's changed. She's changed.
Somebody nice was like, yes, Tami. They're like, yes, Tami. I went from the kiss. They're in for it. The fans like it. They want it.
Nina hasn't changed. Nina will never change.
Oh,
Ava's changed. She's grown, and she slipped back in to that mafia princess role like a glove. Like it was, she is back. She is
I
back in the world where she belongs.
I thought of Frank. Yes, I thought of you. Just on a side, this also happened this week. But again, I'm not mad at it though. I actually enjoyed it of Nina and Alexis.
oh,
I thought of you, Frank. Said Frank's gonna hate these scenes. I liked them. I thought they were funny, kind of unintentionally funny. Of the power struggle, and that actor. They get some better actors on there. I mean, come on, Frank. You get some better actors than Adam's father.
oh, that's
Um,
true.
they get some
But
better actors.
the way that Nina was just kind of like fluttering around him as he was leaving Alexis's office.
Totally. She was tripping over herself.
Oh,
Just
come on.
embarrassing.
I love it. I get that's Nina. She's embarrassed. That's her. That's it. But see, again, Alexis was not buying her bull. She's like, she goes, you're gonna. She goes, how do I know I can trust you? And Nina's like, you don't. I thought that was very real. I mean, they're like this, like there's like it's, I know you're gonna have to you're gonna have to try to trust me or something. And I thought, good. Alexis is standing up to her, saying, I thought I had final say.
No,
Yeah.
she's not standing up to her because when Nina barrels in there and Alexis is on her way out because she's got a very important meeting with this reporter guy, I don't have time. Nina says, make time. I thought, Alexis, deck this biatch now and go. Make time? I'm
That's
done.
the that's the whole point. And so Alexis I kind of stood there and kind of like, okay, I'm gonna like, like sometimes you go, okay, James, I'm just gonna calm down for a second and see where this is going, and then I'll go out. And so as I said, I think this she did, and then she's trying to work with her. It's that whole push pull thing. She don't trust Nina as far as she can throw her. She has no use for Nina, but she does like working there apparently at this place. But I still think she should be a lawyer. That's another story. But she likes working there for some reason, and and Gregory said having a column like that could be helpful. Like, so I think she's kind of trying to reconcile all this. I think she is.
I don't. I'm not thrilled with Nina being over there, but I don't know where else you're gonna put her. So
Right.
In
Yeah,
the
to
crypt.
besides the hotel. I mean, besides the hotel. So, but now we have new writers. Who knows where this will go? Because again, if Ava and Sonny sleep together,
Oh, my living word.
exactly, and Nina finds out, that friendship's dead. Our friendship's dead. And for a lot of folks, they didn't buy the the Nina Ava friendship anyway. So for a lot of fans, this is what they're like. This is what they're waiting for. And for me, I like their friendship. I thought it was weird at first, but I grew to like it.
so
So,
again, like one of those people where it's like she cut the baby out of her.
right, you're exactly right.
How can you be friends with her?
They're all bad. Everybody in this chat room, everybody's bad. Everybody has a big goddamn past. Everybody has something. Everybody did things that were horrible. We can't. I mean, somebody just brought up Ava's past. Like, it's like she killed it. She killed Connie. Sonny killed AJ. Ava
Yeah.
was part of the pills for Morgan's death. I mean, like a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, and it's like they brought up Julian. I love they brought up Julian. He gave you this company to so you can write. She's like, no, he gave me Crimson to run into the ground. That was the whole story, right?
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
I
Yeah.
remember that. That was the whole thing. So like, everybody's bad. Everybody has done some horrific shit on the show. It's just aside. So I'm okay with overseeing some of that. Overseeing just for the sake of a storyline. It's exciting. I will
Even
oversee.
Violet has done terrible things.
My God, don't bring up that name. Don't keep that name out of your mouth. Keep that name. We didn't get her this week, thank God. But that's the whole thing. But my whole thing is, I just think that I know we all talk about how everybody was horrible. Everybody was horrible. Everybody's been horrible. They all did some crazy stuff on these shows. It's just kind of crazy. But if we want some good soapy storylines, then I'm willing to let some of that slide. And if Nina and Ava have to sleep together to give me a good storyline, then I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it because they'll open up a bunch of stuff.
Because then there's no reconciliation between Sonny and Nina.
Oh no, yeah,
That
that's
happens.
and see, I think Nina and Valentine get back together.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess because with the new writers, but it just seems so crazy that and because I guess the old writers, but so much time was invested in trying to make this a couple, to break up Sonny and Carly. Like, oh, this is gonna be it. Now it's gonna be Nina and Sonny, and they dragged it out forever. And then I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Then they just blow it up, and they're done. And it's just done. You're like, what? Okay.
Seems
Yeah, they did. I mean, they had their talk before the new writers came, so I guess that was it.
And what a talk it was. That was it.
Right. That was it. That was it.
That was it.
So Chris was like, they might as well. That's so funny. Like everybody's done something on this show. I mean, everybody's done something.
You know, soap operas have seeped into your very DNA when during the course of the day, what crosses my mind is if Ava and Sonny sleep together. No, what crossed my mind was, what is it going to take for Nita to sign those divorce papers?
I mean,
I can't think of anything that's going to make her, because she won't. I'm like having a serious conversation in my head about this. And then when I realized if Ava and Sonny sleep together, now I see the moment where Nina is just in a fit of rage and gets the papers.
and make Nina a villain. Make her a full out, all out villain. I'm down. I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
I feel like I need to see her be a successful villain, because right now I just feel like she wants to be a villain, but then she steps on her own foot and it's never great. And
that's what I'm saying. But that's the writers.
That's the writers. She's trying to straddle both worlds. And it's just like, just commit to something. Right.
That's what I'm saying. Commit. So you basically Frank said he wants to see a good villain out of her. That's the point. I want she just turns to the other side. Say, fuck, just screw it. She already has Sasha in her life. Screw Willow. And she already has Valentine. There you go.
Yeah, but it's this. I mean, I guess we'll have to see what happens. But it's now to the point where like Carly is like, I don't want anything to do with her. I'm not going to engage. Yeah. So it's like we've missed that window of like, you could have made Nina a villain much earlier and really created a nice, head-to-head kind of thing. But instead, by the time you're actually getting to that point, you've also set up Carly. We're like, yeah, I'm just not going to engage with her. I don't want to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing happened this week that was very shocking. I thought of you, Frank.
Ooh,
I enjoyed it. Well, I think of you all the time, but these particular scenes, the brother and sister duo, Cyrus and Laura, they kind of bonded, and she saved her from crazy Heather Weber. And I love how she called Laura Weber. That was like, that's history. And obviously she's close to Elizabeth because of Franco. And there's all these Weber girls running around. There's a lot of Webers running around. Former Webers, current Webers, ex-Webers. But I love that there's something going on also, you guys can catch this, about rashes and fever. Because Ace got it, she has it now. There's something going on there too.
What was that line? She has it now? What?
She has it. Remember she said, I have a fever and a rash. They asked her, how long you had that rash?
Right.
And their hip thing was a fake, but the rash was real. But then she collapsed after Laura hit her. But Ace also had a rash and had a fever also.
Oh, Ace.
Oh, we're going to need Heather for some sort of transplant or something. Who knows?
She pulled out that saw. I was like, what the holy hell?
I loved it.
What? All you need's a paper clip and she's good to go.
And I like Cyrus the whole time in the chapel. He was just like
But here's the thing, Crystal brings this up. I think Cyrus wants a relationship. He wants a family. I think that's been very clear. He's his own worst enemy. I get that part. But I think he really does want Laura's approval. That's what's been proven. He wants Laura to bring him in. For him, that's some kind of respectability if Laura takes him in. But he also has these other ways. So like we're saying in the chat's like, we can't trust him. You shouldn't trust him fully. But Jeff Kober plays him so well, like it's he doesn't read the room. Frank like about that all the time. He never reads the room. He just overstays his welcome everywhere. But this time, Laura actually leaned on him, and I was like, but it wasn't unnatural though. It was like it felt his guard was there. I like when you're like this when you think about somebody else, and it felt like he wasn't performing for a change. Yet they had that little exchange with. Look, we saw a piece of homegirl, Amy, with that other girl. I love his radio show. I'm like, see, they're building again. What did Jay Atkinson say, Tami? They never say things for no reason, right? So there's something going on there. But I think on some level, when it comes to Laura and the family, he wants the family.
Laura is his Achilles heel.
Yes, I agree.
And his only redemption opportunity. If it's possible, she's the reason. That moment where they were sitting and she breaks down and she's just in her pain and she starts crying, and he had this look of, oh my God, what do I do? This is awkward. I mean, you could feel how awkward it felt for him to reach out and hold her hand. And we felt that like, oh my God, this moment, what is happening? It was a seismic shift for them.
I see the chat fixed. Go ahead, Frank. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, no, what I liked about that is that they kind of recalibrated Cyrus's dialogue where it wasn't so heavy on the religious stuff. Which I'm so happy for. This one, he was like, he's talking like a normal human being with Laura. And it was, with a few kind of more aspirational bits in there, but boy, just sounded much more enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah, and through the chat brought that up too. I think the chat, half the chat's like yes to Cyrus, no to Cyrus, and that's how it should be. I think Cyrus should be a great character. I think he should be somebody he could grow into an anti-hero like a Luke or something. He could totally, where he has a side of him that he'll do things, or he's fighting it all the time. But his Achilles heel, his North Star would be Laura and the family. Because he did help protect Spencer. He did. He looked out for it, like maybe to his own means, but I think deep down he wants family. He wants family, and he wants Laura to say, "I accept you." That's what he wants the most. So I think they do this correctly, storyline correctly, where she's trying. She's kind of like, "I'm just not. I want to, but I'm not sure." This could be good. Like I said, this was a start this week. It was kind of like when he awkwardly grabbed her hand. It was like that was an awkward. But it was a genuine moment, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. I
You're
wish
like,
Martin was there. I hate it when he goes away.
I know. Yeah, I don't know
I
why.
love the three of them together. I love their dynamic so much.
Me too.
I did enjoy Heather lamenting like that she's focused on Cyrus. Cyrus is the one that ended up killing Esme. It was all Cyrus's fault. But when Laura says, "Oh, but I also, lost a grandson," it's like, well, at least something good came out of it. Just like
I was like, "Oh my God!"
That's what broke Laura. That's what broke her.
Yeah,
it did. Laura was like, "Oh, she was like, oh my God!" She took a baby and ran. She was like, "Get out of here." That was it. Just like she's trying to Heather, like, "It's okay, I got it." But how do you think about Portia? See, Portia and Cyrus still at it. She is not buying what he's selling, which I think why not? And she details what he did to them, and so I kind of like that she's sticking to her gun. She's just like, "How about you just don't come near my family?" I know the way she talked to him. She's like, "How about?" And again, he'll read the room. "I just hope you one day." She's like, "I don't give an F. I don't care if you gargle glass. I'm not going to forgive you." She's like my aunt used to always say, "You give them an inch, take a mile. You can't have an inch. You can't give them an inch." And Portia's like, "No."
Yeah, I mean, it's that's I think the biggest issue with Cyrus is that he's wanting people to forgive him on his timetable.
And Laura said that to him.
Yeah, it's like, get it together, Cyrus. It's gonna take a long time.
Yeah,
Portia bugs me though.
She bugs me too. Well, she bugs me too.
Bugs.
Right, she bugs me. She bugs me so much. But I don't mind that she's staying in character, ever staying in character where she doesn't want you stay from Trina. You went to Trina, like Frank always laugh at these things. You went to Trina. Did you leave? Did you turn around and go? No, you try to talk to her. I always think of Frank. We always laugh again how he doesn't read the room. He just comes in, he don't care. And I like that she totally, Janice, I agree with you. She totally was like, stay away. How many times I gotta tell you, MFer, stay away from my godforsaken family.
Ugh. Yeah, it's.
I
I
mean,
just wanted to ask to see how Curtis was doing.
Stop!
He just
Get away from me.
I'm gonna discuss my husband with you. Like, of course he's not. Of course he's not. It's crazy. It's yeah. But that's Cyrus. I don't mind. I don't mind that. So I don't mind that. So it's just kind of funny. What storylines we have this week? I mean, am I missing anything?
Spinelli and password Maximista.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you do care.
I turned to Ernie. I said, "Is my name your password?
He's
Is your name for me your password?" He's like,
no.
I'm glad they didn't drag this out though.
Same here.
Yeah, just let them be together. It's fine. This whole week of talking to Felicia or talking to Cody and Sasha, just ugh. All right.
But that was quick though. So that was part of last week. This week was talking to Sasha and Cody and her just saying, "I know what you guys done did. Now focus on each other," basically. Which maybe now they will. Maybe now they'll finally kind of take that. Well, because they're a cute couple too. So now let's get it going.
Cody's grown on me. He bugged me.
Well, me too. No, me too. Well, when he said the nice thing about Spinelli, the way he said it, and Maxie was like, no one's ever talked to him like that before about him.
He's a cool dude. Like,
yeah. Huh. I was like,
I've never described Spinelli as that before.
Right. I love that. I was like, but the way he said it was like, it's like when you think about, what you think about him, he's like, there's another layer to him. And I'm like, yeah, Spinelli does have. They'll sometimes play Spinelli too cartoonish sometimes, and then mature. But then there's times when he does kind of, like Nikisha says, we want a mature version of Spixie. That's what I want.
Yeah.
The more mature.
But I need something to happen with Cody and Sasha because I felt like this week we just got to them being like, well, if nothing ever comes of this, it's still, we'll still be your friend. It's great. Like, this is where we were 3 or 4 months ago. It was saying the same stuff.
She did say to him, well, let's admit now that we don't need to make up an excuse to spend time with each other. So that's moved the meter a little bit, or the needle a little bit.
Yes, let's
hang out some more.
Yes. So I was going to turn to chat real second. So we have 67 people watching tonight. So thank you so much. Woo! Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel.
It's all Tami. It's all Tami. That's why.
The chat is alive. But I'm seeing so much negative people in this chat room. Jeez.
Really?
Oh yeah. I don't know why you watch the goddamn show. You're so negative. That's why I don't read. I'm not reading any comments. I'm being very honest. I'm not reading half the comments because they're all just fucking negative. Every single comment out of these people are just negative. I'm like, why the fuck you watch the show then? What the fuck?
Mean, usually that's me. So
I know. I'm like, that's why I'm not reading. So you guys know, a lot of times I'll read your comments, but a lot of them I'm not because it's just all. They're just some people here just every single comment it's just been negative. So I'm not reading.
Wow.
No, that's just I just think it's my nerves. But Chris and Dan, yes, are still listed as writers, but Pastor O'Kane, their writing is mixed in. So the next few weeks, you're going to see a mixture of them out because some of the storylines are still storylines they started, and then the others are going to come in, and that's what's going to happen. And you'll start to see the separation, hopefully more and more. And that's why I feel like this week so far has been it's been brighter than it has been in a long time.
One thing I did enjoy was just again the Brooklyn and Tracy stuff.
Loved it.
Yes.
Our gold.
Yeah. Man, Jane Elliott is just amazing.
I said to James, didn't I text you? I said, I live for every breath that Jane Elliott breathes. I just bringing her back. I mean, I know she came back for a lot of different reasons, but please don't go away, Jane. Please don't ever, 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 ever go away again.
It is amazing because I believe, yeah, you were saying that, James, that she left the first time because she just didn't think she had what it took anymore. And it's just amazing to think she like, how could she have thought that? Because she's as good as she's ever been.
Well, I was told it by, I can't give my source away, who I was told. Yes, it is. That when this person told me, I was like, I know. He goes, right. And I told her, what's wrong with you? Like, you spin everything into gold.
Yeah.
And she does. And Jane Elliott, I like that they're not completely defanging her. But the fact that she does see something in Brooklyn, that's her granddaughter. And when she said, I like you, I actually like hanging out, like I see myself there. I thought, it's like, wow, I love this. I like, this is great. This is realistic. It's not forced. They fight, they go back and forth, they fight, but they're a lot alike each other. And she really, and see, the thing about Tracy, this is the thing about Tracy. As she's gotten older, she's all about keeping the Quartermaine legacy. That's a major thing in Tracy's thing, whether it's Michael, whether it's Ned, she wants the Quartermaines to still be as hot and happening as they've always been. That is a through line for Tracy. So why not focus on her granddaughter? Like, why not? I mean, she's a viable person. And now it's making sense of why this whole music stuff. Thank God that they're doing that right now. I don't even want to come back. But I think maybe Brooke's gonna like this after. Now she has a new understanding about her grandmother, that she may actually like being in charge, or Maxie. I think that may have a little rift there. Mm-hmm.
Well, what I like too is just that, I mean, just the simple thing of a grandmother wanting to connect with her granddaughter, but because it's Tracy Quartermaine,
right,
the way that she connects is it's got to be scheming, it's got to be some kind of fighting, it's got to be yes. So that's like Tracy's love language, and Brooklyn trying to like, no, we don't, you don't have to do this, we can just talk. And I feel like a very realistic thing where it's like, once you get married, we don't have the wedding to talk about anymore. Then it's only work. And so if we're not working together, what do we have to talk about?
Gregory.
We said the same time. I agree.
Gregory. I love what Gregory is doing to Tracy Quartermaine. And she said to him, this is your fault.
But he shouldn't die.
I'm nice.
He should not die.
No, they've got to figure this out.
They have to. Frank and I have been saying it every week for the last 5 months.
They have to figure something out. You
just die. Can't die. Let's see Tracy and Gregory in a wonderful, long-lasting storyline. Can't.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
and yes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Even if you wanted to tell that storyline, I would put him in. I wish to delay it for several years.
Yes.
To be able to at least.
I don't want him any worse.
Yes.
Like, this has to be the worst it's ever going to be. It's like, stop.
Right. Yeah.
He said, yes, he said, save me a dance. And she got all giddy.
Oh, my living word.
If that brings that up. Yes, he said, save me a dance. And she was like, ee. I love the look that Maxie looked at her like girlfriends. It was hilarious. Everybody's like, yeah, I want Gregory to stay. Finn has to find a musical cure. Exactly. I mean, well, Frank and I have been saying this for months. He's a hot, hunky older man who has ties to people on the show. He has this great thing with Alexis, great thing with Tracy. I like the Finn, the Chase men when they're together. Screw Violet, but the rest of them together, I like them. Let's keep them on. Like, why? There's no other man of his age group, kind of like really. I mean, just Robert, I guess, but like not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice because he's not brought in just for Tracy. He's a man that already has other relationships, other dynamics, other characters, and it's just great that the two of them work so well together.
And I love him and Alexis, but I love him and Tracy. Like,
yes, me too. Me too. The chat agrees you should stop the progression. And it's I hope that when they were doing the reassessment of characters and stuff, they looked at the, people. I mean, there's chemistry can't always be made, folks. They can't. Chemistry can't always be made. So, but this is a nice natural. Who knew? Like, who knew? This is a nice natural chemistry.
Yeah.
So that's it's great. Or maybe they could do a whole. See, Jason, Jose, you think what I'm thinking? Homeboys misdiagnosed. Had days misdiagnosed.
I was just thinking that, but
Larger story. It's a
But
general hospital. It's a hospital story.
The rashes are there.
The rashes are there.
it's so horrible. Oh my God.
Where's Gregory's ex-wife? Not on the show. Apparently, homegirl. They wrote. They just like all of a sudden she went somewhere, went on a trip, and never came back.
Yeah.
Where is Jackie for her son's wedding? Where's Jackie?
She's somewhere. She's embedded somewhere in the Ukraine, and she can't get back.
She's at Frisco. She's at Frisco. And then so, but this week they didn't show them, but someone brought up the Christina craze, Christina Blaze. So we saw last week, Tami, we saw the week before, we saw Eva LaRue come in as Mama.
Yes, I was shocked. I had no idea.
Yeah.
We need more Eva. I love her.
Oh, Maria Santos. No. And then but this we haven't seen anything yet, but I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with this storyline, because the way they left it, this is the first time I felt like this baby was mine. I already see a storyline coming. Alexis is gonna be right. Alexis is gonna be totally right.
Yeah.
She's gonna bond with the baby, of course.
I would love it if we can keep everything going as it is, but for just the Christina baby scenes, we just jump 9 months into the future.
God, I wish too.
Just that storyline. Just jump 9 months.
I'm just like, I just don't care. I just don't care.
Hot speculation. What if, because I know everybody's talking about could, Stone, what's the deal? Could it be Morgan? I feel like while nobody's excited about Morgan, it could be Morgan is the guy behind it, and that's why Jason is involved, because he's trying to rescue Morgan or extract him.
What are you talking about?
The whole who's trying to get the families. People were saying there was Morgan as the head guy.
Morgan is taking out all the heads of the families?
You don't think? They
have the brain to do that. No offense.
They brought out Alcazar. They brought up Morgan. They brought up somebody else. They brought somebody else. It's coming. Jerry Jackson is brought up, of course.
Yeah, Jerry Jackson.
In the chat, they're saying, they're like, yes, Morgan's you, Tami. Like, yes, Morgan, bitch.
No.
No, it seems unlikely, but it would at least give Jason a reason for why he is with them, as he's trying to work some way to get Morgan.
Right. Maybe Morgan is being his usual irrational self.
Yeah.
And I know people see Blink FM. I've seen somebody write that earlier, but if you know me in my show, I don't mention his name. I'm like Whoopi Goldberg on The View. He never says Donald Trump. She says, you know who. I will never say his name on this show because I don't want him back. And that is a person who died by Anna's hands. I'm not saying his name. They're saying it in the chat. I think it's this person we possibly too. And his horrible acting. I do not want him back.
I mean, if we're being honest, it was really Felicia that, really.
All right.
Really got it going.
Right. But I don't want to say his name. I don't want to say his name. And I hated his character. I hated his acting. I hated all of it. So I don't even. To me, that was a time that shouldn't have happened.
What if the new writing team wants to bring this character back? How would you feel?
I'd be pissed, and I'd be talking about it every weekend. Every time we're on the show, I'll be talking about it. Oh my God, do not bring him back. I'm like, nope.
I wish I had my phone on me. I'd read what's in the chat. I don't know. So maybe Alcazar has kidnapped Morgan. Like maybe he's had Morgan all this time, and Jason's there now to extract Morgan and say whatever. But the fact that Morgan's strategizing and spearheading this whole thing, nah.
Well, I heard a rumor. Heard a rumor that Jason, remember he looked at his hand, there was blood on it, that he shows up to Carly's.
Yeah.
Oh,
From what
because he had been shot. Yeah. He's like
I
staggering by the dumpsters and oh,
there was a article in Soap Opera Digest, whatever it is online. I saw where they talked about tomorrow. He and Carly will reunite.
So Susan's bringing up Julian.
I was
It's just
thinking
like
that
Drew
too. I
who?
miss Julian.
Well, remember a long time ago it was a woman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Faith, they're going back in time.
Oh,
Wow.
Faith Roscoe, Faith
hey,
Roscoe. She was a good villain. She was a good villain back in the day. See, I wish she wasn't dead. I wish it was Helena Cassadine.
I do too.
That's the ultimate villain. It's Helena Cassadine. That's the ultimate villain.
But it's like if you wanted to have it be Helena Cassadine, I would totally buy it. Like I just assume Cassadines have some way
Yeah.
to cheat death. And so you would not really need to spend any length of time like selling me on that. You could just say like, "Oh, yeah, I had this thing and I'm back now." Like, "Yep, great. Works for me. Let's keep going." If you're gonna get Constance Towers in there, yes, just whatever you need. Whatever you need. Just a line of dialogue and I'm good.
Agreed.
James, what about Alcazar being Tomas? I know that's I remember that whole storyline. They're not crossing over anymore. I mean, they're trying to say that with the whole Karen thing on Port Charles, she was on that show, but apparently that's a different reality. But I remember when they canceled, they brought Lucy and her candle, and I was like, there's a lot of they haven't reconciled those two shows. There's no vampires in Port Charles, honestly. They didn't reconcile that. So and Silas Clay, but he was also Homeboy, and Livy was Sam, who was Kevin's daughter. Like they have not reconciled any of that. So you're right. So they're not even talking about wanting to live around my children character, except for they mentioned Blair Kramer the other day. And that was it because of the formula. But they haven't reconciled that either. I wish they would do more of that. Why not? They mentioned Corinth once and all this. I love that kind of stuff. Like, why not? It was all ABC. Like, why not?
Yeah, it is weird because I mean Kevin, because when he refers to Ace, like he's never raised a child before, so he's been a stepfather, but only in relation to uh Scotty and Lucy's daughter. So
There's Serena.
yeah,
It's also Christina, who was Lucy and Kevin. They adopted her. So Lucy has a couple of kids running around out there that just not they're not here. Well, Homegirl's saving the whales. So Homegirl's like saving the whales. But
Right.
it's always the whales or something. Scotty always says that. But that's the thing. I'm saying, Blink, they're picking and choosing what they want to have on the show. And it's like, but to me, I wish they just have all the shows all be canon, as they say, or everything's just canon. And the Port Charles stuff happened in some part of town. Why not? There was GH Night Shift that happened at night, and they have GH. I mean, they were all part of General Hospital. They're part of the universe. Like why, like they do with the Star Wars and Star Trek, and are they just making part of all the same universe?
yeah. If you're gonna have like back in the '80s, you had the Alien on there, same.
Case of the Alien.
Yeah, so if you're gonna have that, then you could easily buy that there's a vampire in there somewhere.
Yes.
Right.
What was the name of Finn when he was a vampire?
Shit. He was Sean McBain. That was my favorite character of
That
him.
was my favorite.
Yeah, I wanted to live, and Frank's
I
too.
loved him as John McClane.
He was. Oh my god, why am I thinking? Not Steve. Steven. I forgot what his name was. In chat room. What was his name as a vampire? He was a
Maybe
dual
he's
character.
heading this whole thing.
He was a
A
dual character.
vampire. I like that.
I would love it. They had the Dark Shadows moment.
Yeah, it was Caleb Morley.
Caleb.
That's what it was. And Stephen Clay. That's right. Thank you guys. The check he played too is yes, and Caleb. Thank you, chat. No chat will tell me. Thank you.
I like Caleb.
Yes, me too. And then of course my buddy Riel Andrews and I have been talking just off camera and stuff. And I heard a rumor there too. Possibly we might see Taggart. Who knows?
Hope so.
Oh, with that flask.
That flask. In a cereal or whatever it was.
Maybe, it'd be great to see him, but maybe he can get a better opportunity to be on the gates.
Maybe.
Right. Now, also, they announced they're bringing because the only announcement they've made at all, casting wise, recently, that Terry's coming back. Cassandra James is coming back. So I don't think they'll do with her. They barely do anything with her anyway. So like that was a big announcement. Like I said, we saw Amy for a piece of a second. It was like, oh, there's Amy. And then she's like, thanks everybody else on the show. Thank you. I don't. Oh wait. Side note, Tami, have you watched? Are you up to date with YNR yet or no?
No.
Yesterday and today's episodes were crazy talk.
Okay.
I can't say anything. I was gonna mention one thing that happened that I was like, oh. All I can say is Aunt Jordan is wreaking havoc in ways I had no idea.
Has she changed her wig?
Well, she didn't change her wig. She flipped it. Let's just say there was another fire.
Oh, my living word. Not the Newman Ranch.
I just want to say that real quick. I just want to give you a little, just to watch your episode and say that real quick. It was really good. But I was going to say something in relation to this, but I can't. I won't say anything. But anyway, but the whole point is, it's I'm not finding my whole point. Okay.
Terry, you were talking about Terry.
Oh yeah, she'll do anything anyway. So bring her back. Okay, great.
Well, bring her back with the solid storyline. Don't just
right.
Well, I mean, we are, quickly approaching the typical time for the nurses' ball, like the usual.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So maybe they're starting to like see. That's why you get Amy. Hey, remember, she still is here.
Yes.
We're gonna see her singing too much soon enough.
We feel too much soon enough. Yes. Well, we're gonna end it here. We're on for an hour and a half. I can't believe it. This will be great. I know, it goes by fast. Well, like I said, I'm encouraged. I'm curious to see what tomorrow's episode brings, as it's Friday, the first week of this kind of blended storylines. I'm very excited. I think right now, again, the pacing's been great. They're showing just certain characters. We're just getting certain things going. And they're not playing around. And I'm seeing history being used. So those are three things that I'm excited about anyway about soaps. So I see they can continue this.
Yeah, what are they going to do with what are they going to do with Dax?
I don't know. He's back now.
Sonny saw him in the hospital. I was like,
oh, I know. He's there. They ain't show him again after that, so I have no idea.
All right.
He's just sticking close to Jocelyn. That's it.
There is.
This is only hope right
now. There is. Wouldn't you, Frank? I'm like, hello. Like, wouldn't you? Yeah, I'm like,
But like even with Jagger, or John, Agent Cates, but even like his stuff with Spinelli and Maxi Today, where it is nice to see the cops kind of being effective, where at least with Cates, like he has that connection to these characters, but they don't have to write him like a total dum-dum in these.
He was like, oh, you can tell your dad hi, and you can tell him. I'd laugh.
These off.
Take these off.
How about you give my regards to Mac?
And tell my to rest his daughter. And then she looked at Spinelli, she's like, I tried. Like, I tried. That was cute.
Awesome.
That was cute. But he was like, he wasn't buying it. He was like, yeah, no, you're going in. He wasn't buying it. I love it. I love it. So I just think this is good. I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged. I know normally we're shady as F, but today I'm encouraged. See what happens.
Yeah, I feel like keep the storyline or come up with some other way to keep him around even after it wraps up.
Yes,
I'm digging Jagger.
Oh, totally.
Me too.
So good.
I know he's so good. Well, everybody, thanks 75 people who are watching. Anybody who watched us tonight, our special, we may continue doing these. And also, Tami, Amanda, and I are talking about doing these also maybe when we can't be here on the weekends. We may do one also. This week, just time ran out this week. But Bold has been good. Woo! Liam. Oh, my God. And YNR is getting a little better. It's still a little boring, but it's getting a little better.
I'll binge YNR.
Oh,
I don't have shows this weekend, but I need to binge and catch up.
Yeah, the last 2 days. And tomorrow should be good, too. Ooh, should be good. Everybody, thank you for watching us, of course. We'll be back at the Soap Block on the 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day, Sunday the 17th.
Yes.
Full soap. We're wearing green.
Everyone wear green.
Pinching each other. So we'll be back for that. But again, my interview with Lydia Look will be out tomorrow as we get to Jay's Dirty Deeds. And just on a side note, my interview with Barbara Streisand's sister, Rosalind Kahn, will be out on Sunday morning. I got to talk to royalty, and it was We talked before, during, after. We had the best time. She sounds like Barbara. She looks like Barbara, but she is her own person. So if you want to get to know Rosalind Kine, and we talk about Barbara, don't worry, we talk about her. Check out my interview on Extra Connections with Rosalind Kine on Sunday morning. So I have 2 great interviews coming up.
Look at that.
I know, I'm trying. I'm working on some others, folks. I have some other names working. I'm working on Donna Mills. She has my email, I heard. I'm working on Donna. That's my
I
dream.
miss her.
I do too. So
I miss her so much. Talk about villain.
Yes. So keep your
Oh.
fingers crossed on that, folks. But everybody, and a shout out to the GHPR and Miss Marianne Price. We love you guys. He's at Happy Go Jackie. She's at Tami.Goveia. I'm at James Lott Jr. And wherever they're all sold, we're there.